Well, hello everybody, late nighters. Today we're going to do another weekly recap. I haven't gotten on here for quite some time. I think I took like a month off from doing the live streams, but I figured I've got a bunch of new products in that we could talk about for a little bit, and we can start off tonight with the review that I did yesterday, which is The Tomorrow World. This movie, I was really amped up to see this. Like, I was really excited. I didn't know what it was about. Like, I didn't watch any trailers or anything like that. So I kind of went in blind, not knowing what it was about. And I was pleasantly surprised. Like, I didn't know what it was all about, and it was pretty good. I mean, it was kind of a mixture between, like, Edge of Tomorrow, maybe Starship Troopers, a little bit of Aliens thrown in there. But overall, yeah, it was kind of a rip-off of all those movies. But yet, I still found it enjoyable. There were some cheesy lines here and there, a little bit of cheesy acting. I think the end, it got a little corny at the end, but still, it was still enjoyable. I liked it. Like, I thought it was good. Some of the stuff, like, didn't make sense. Like, I don't want to go into spoilers or anything like that, but, I mean, it's basically like a time travel movie, but yet there is a part where Chris Pratt wanted to go back to the future, save his daughter, even though she's alive in the past when he's going back. Like, if you saved her in the past, wouldn't she be safe in the future? Like, why was he worried about his daughter in the future? A little shit like that kind of bothered me. But it was still a alright movie. Decent action movie. The video quality on it was just like kind of abysmal, man. I don't know if it's just the Amazon Prime stream, or is that just the way the source looks? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've seen anything recently where I thought the stream was a drastic difference than the physical disc version. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before. So, like, my first thought would be, it's probably just the source. It's probably just a soft looking movie in general. So I'm just thinking, yeah, man, if it comes out on physical media on like 4K disc or on the Cloud Escape, I'm just going to assume that it's probably just going to look that way. I might look a little bit cleaner, but I'm just anticipating it for it to look soft. But who knows? We could be in for a big surprise. Who knows? But audio wise, I felt like this was like the best sounding action flick that I've seen this year. I'm gonna say, as far as like immersiveness, it's gonna have to top. BVS. Like, BVS was good, because I think that was my number one for this year. At least for, I don't know if you guys saw my top 6 list for 2021, but that was on the top. I think I gave like a 9.9 or something like that for audio. Or maybe it was like a 9.8. No, wait. Maybe I gave it a 10. Definitely much more memorable score it had over The Tomorrow War. I think I kept calling it The Tomorrow World in my review. The Tomorrow War. But I think if they fix the dialogue in The Tomorrow War on physical media, on disc, Cloudscape, that obviously it's going to be less compressed sounding. It's going to sound better. But for a digital stream, like, it was pretty rocking. And yeah, I liked it better than Godzilla vs. Kong too. Godzilla vs. Kong was good, but Tomorrow War just had much more detail going on. Like, there's more intricate stuff, I felt, in the stream than on Godzilla vs. Kong. Because, in Tomorrow World, you got like guys shooting guns and stuff like that in the background. You got shit blowing up, atmospheric sounds like rain and all that stuff. And you didn't really get all that with Godzilla vs. Kong. You just got a lot of bass. nothing quite as good as the type of soundstage that I heard with Tomorrow War. So I'm anticipating stellar, even better sound if the Tomorrow World comes out on physical media. It's just the 4K quality, man. Just really, man, I was really bummed out. I thought it was maybe my projector at first. I got like 4 different Apple TVs here, so I tried every single one of them. I tried the Amazon app on the TV. I even went to the TV just to see if the TV was better because it's smaller. So I figured, hey, it's got to be a little bit more crisper, a little bit sharper. But on my 75-inch, it was equally as disappointing. And the HDR was just like not even like there, man. It was just like SDR. You know, I think I mentioned like some of the highlights, like some of the flames and stuff like that were good, but nothing that definitely nothing that blew me away. Like, and it's funny because like The Boys is in 4K. Like that's a good looking show. I think I saw what else is in 4K. I saw like Honey Boy. Like that was good looking in 4K. Upload, that's a good looking show in 4K. But this movie, I'm really just thinking that the movie is just a soft looking movie, unfortunately. Apparently it's got a 4K DI, so I guess that doesn't really mean anything. Like I know people automatically think if it has a 4K DI, it's going to be like spectacular looking, but I don't think that's going to be the case with this movie. Perhaps they did it to mix in the CG with the physical stuff, but I don't know. We're just going to have to hold off and wait. Whether or not it's going to actually come out on disc, who knows about that as well. I mean, I think Amazon made Manchester by the Sea. That I'm pretty sure that got a physical release. I could be mistaken, but I think it did. And this is like Amazon / Paramount, so I don't know why they wouldn't come out with this on physical disc. But I guess we'll find out in like 45 days because I think that's the time frame. Rather than 3 months now, everything is like 45 days from theatrical release or release till it comes out on home media. So I guess we'll find out in 45 days. So, man, Tomorrow War. I almost said Tomorrow World again. Tomorrow War. Disappointing 4K transfer, but a stellar Atmos transfer. Pick it up if you got a home theater. If you got some subwoofers, you gotta watch the movie. It's an audio extravaganza, no doubt about it. But that is the Tomorrow War. Check it out. What do you guys think about the Tomorrow War? Video that I dropped today is the Sony. This one, kind of excited for. I haven't had a Sony projector in for a while, which is the VW 325ES. It is a $5,500 projector, but it is a native 4K projector. It's got the X1 processor. Anybody in the chat that has an X1 processor knows that it's supposed to have some pretty good image processing, you know, like reality creation and all that. Motion flow. This has dynamic HDR enhancer to tone map on the fly, frame by frame. I think it's supposed to kind of be like JVC. I guess I'm going to find out. I haven't been able to turn it on in my theater so far because my theater is about 98 degrees in there right now. So if it's like 90, I think it was 90 degrees today outside. So I'm on the second floor. Yeah, man, no windows in that room, no AC. So that room is like off limits when it's summertime. So I haven't been able to check it out yet. But it's got the X1 processor, dynamic HDR. It doesn't have the good lens like the more expensive ones or a dynamic iris. So interested to see how it is for black levels. I do believe my previous two Sonys, you know, had decent black levels, but after I got onto the JVC, it was almost like, I don't want to be like a 9-day difference, but it was a pretty drastic difference as far as contrast was concerned. So I don't know. This is the new models for this year are supposed to have better black levels. So I'm interested to see about that as well. 18 gigabit per second HDMI's. No 2.1. I don't think any projectors have 2.1 right now. Of course, it has anamorphic lens support, but pretty much every Sony projector has had that for quite some time. I'm not sure why they mentioned that. And the funny thing is, like, they don't mention 3D support on this webpage either, so, which is kind of weird, but it does support 3D. Sony's, like I said in my review when I did JVC, I thought the Sony had better 3D than the JVC. I'm hoping that's the case for this as well, even though my previous Sony projectors, I think, were like 1700 lumens, so it was a little bit brighter. This one is kind of on the lowest side, 1500 lumens. So I mean, you really got to have a either like a short throw distance or totally light controlled room. I am anticipating. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be as bright as my NX7. I think my NX7 is like 18 or 1900 lumens. So this is a pretty big chunk between the two as far as like bright as lumens. But we shall see. Reduced input lag, refresh for gamers. I'll try that as well. And like I said, man, this is a native 4K projector, like 4K DCI resolution, not 3840 by 2160, but 4096 but 2160. So actual real 4K. Even though it's like when you play a 4K movie, like it doesn't actually even take up 4096. So I don't even know why they make it 4096. Well, that's what it is though. But that is the that's the Sony 325 ES. That review. I'm gonna try to wrap this up pretty quick because I hate having a bunch of projectors in the theater because it takes up a lot of space behind my seats. And speaking of projectors, this is one that may interest some of you guys. This is the JM Go Ultra Short Throw Projector. This is a new boy. I don't know if you can buy this yet. Maybe you can. I know they started like an Indiegogo or something like that. But this is an ultra short throw. It's actually pretty cool. I'm not going to lie, I haven't fired this on yet either. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to work on this review tomorrow and try to wrap that up. Maybe tomorrow night or possibly Friday. But this is the JM Go 01. And check that out. You can use this to segue into the next topic. But let me get that in focus there. Come on, man. Get in focus. No focus. All right. Well, there we go. JM Go. Oops, this side. JM Go audio. Audio is done by Dyn Audio. Dyn Audio. You know, the Denmark guys. The speakers that I unboxed earlier. But they have a. I guess they got a partnership with JM Go to supply their audio. This tiny projector. It's got a LAN input, it's got optical out, 2 HDMI ins, one with ARC, and 2 USBs. Did I say 2 USBs? It runs at Android TV, so you can like load up some, your illegal movies or your illegal rips, and you're supposed to be able to play them back on this. Since it runs Android, you can probably like download Kodi or something like that on here. So this is I'm going to be working on this tomorrow. I think the retail on this thing is like $700. So it's not too bad. It's a 1080p projector. It's not 4K. It will accept 4K, but it will not play back 4K. So I mean, for $700, I don't think you're going to find anything that's going to output 4K. So be on the lookout for this guy. I think this is going to be popular. Some of my most popular videos have been these little small projectors, like the Xiaomi and the X Jimmy. This one is the JM Go. So that's coming. Hopefully Friday. Check that out. This is going to be I think it's going to be good. Runs on Android TV. $700. Well, that's Dyn Audio. My bad. JM Go with Dyn Audio for audio. And what else did I do? What else we got here on topic here? We just typed this. The other movie that just came out today that I reviewed, I think like 2 days ago, is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I feel like nobody really cared about this movie for some reason, which I get. I think this is kind of like a, maybe you gotta be a real fan of this movie to really like it. I think it's like a one of those cult classics, kind of like Evil Dead type of thing. Like there's like a small niche group of people that like Scott Pilgrim. I can tell by the views, like only got like 8,000 views on it, so it was like not like a super popular title. Unfortunately, I thought it was gonna be. I was happy to get it in early because when I initially had watched this movie, like I didn't like it at all when it first came out. But I did watch it on Netflix. I want to say like a month ago because I knew the 4K was coming out, so I was like, I should probably just watch this to brush up on it. And I found it to be a pretty good movie. Like it was good. Like I enjoyed it. I think Scott Pilgrim is like a comic book, like comic strip or something like that. And does it play? It's not like a Marvel or DC type of thing. It's definitely like maybe like a teenage type of superhero. Wait, hold on, he's not even a superhero. But they got some. Listen, they got some good music in there. I enjoyed some of the music. Some of the visuals are good. The 4K was a pretty big improvement over the regular Blu-ray. Like very noticeable. A lot more detail in the 4K transfer over the standard Blu-ray. And the HDR, better than Tomorrow War. Although, you might think that it's going to be like some eye-popping colors and all that, because of like the box and the different colors in the trailer or whatnot. That it just came out like Dolby Cinema, but kind of subdued, kind of a very reserved HDR in it. There's some nice moments, I think, towards the end, but nothing really crazy. But still, resolution, everything, detail, very nice, very big improvement, I would say, over the Blu-ray. And then the audio mix, Dolby Atmos mix, man, kind of like a night and day difference almost with the older mix, which I think was 5.1, maybe it's 7.1. I think it's 5.1. But yeah, there's a surprisingly robust mix for Scott Pilgrim. Not quite as busy as Tomorrow War, but during the big action stuff, like all the fight scenes with all the X's, a lot of stuff floating around. I really thought I wasn't expecting it to sound as good as it did. Definitely check this out too, man. If you guys are a fan of Scott Pilgrim, even if you're not, I don't know, maybe just watch it on Netflix. It's not 4K on Netflix, but it's still, I thought it was an enjoyable movie. One of those, is it a coming of age thing? Maybe not, but it's like Scott Pilgrim. What is he like? He's like a lady killer. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun movie. Plus, it's got him. It's got Captain America in it. It's got Superman in it. It's got Captain Marvel in it. You got the whole Marvel family in there. And then you got Michael Cera. I don't think that man's been in anything since Scott Pilgrim and Superbad, has he? Although he was in Arrested Development. That's a good show. If you guys don't like Arrested Development, check it out. It's a funny show. But I think that's it for movie. No, hold on. I got one more movie here that I covered. Where is it? Which I know is a popular one. I think this was like number 5 or something like that on my top 10 list, top 6 list, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is now official. This is supposed to be coming out September 7th towards the end of the year. So a couple more months to go for this to officially be in the hands of everybody that didn't want to import it. Like, you can still import the UK version. Like, I had the UK version. I'm sure it's going to look exactly the same. I think Best Buy's got like a steelbook or like one of those triple packs coming out, which is a little bit more money. But this is $30, $31. If you want to get your pre-order in. I don't know if they change the price before it comes out, if they lock you into this pre-order price, or do they lower it once it's official? Like, I don't think they charge you the second you pre-order it. Could be mistaken. I've never pre-ordered anything from Amazon before, but it is $31. I mean, for a 4-hour movie at $30, I think that's a fair price. That's like 2 movies in one. This it's on two separate discs. Aspect ratio is the 4:3 aspect ratio. Humongous bars on on the side of your TV. If you got a 2.3x5 screen like I got, it's even a bigger. It just takes up a sliver on my screen. It's almost like you could take 4 of these movies and stack them up side by side on my 235 screen and fill the entire thing. So it's pretty big difference when I watch it in my theater rather than watching it on my television set. I mean, you can zoom it in. You can see if you zoom it in, which you can do on like HBO Max, or if you have if you've got a Blu-ray player that can zoom in, or a TV that can zoom in, like it'll fit most. I mean, I'm gonna say like 80% of the movie looks really good if you zoomed in on it. Like, you can see some shots were framed for that aspect ratio. Because sometimes there'll be like a headshot and then there's a humongous space right above a character's head. But then there's other shots where it's like he clearly planned for it to be like in an IMAX ratio, because if you zoom in and cut it off, you're gonna be chopping off somebody's face or something. So I mean, either way works. Obviously, if you want to get it the most authentic way to watch it, it would be to watch it in its 1:3 aspect ratio. I mean, I put up that little video, that little clip of Zack Snyder saying that this was an intentional thing. I know a lot of people were like bitching about the aspect ratio, but man, that's the man's choice. It's kind of like telling Van Gogh, why did you paint it the way you painted it? That's the man's choice, an artistic choice. But yet I've read all these comments there that's just like, oh man, Zack Snyder doesn't know what he's doing when he's making movies. I was like, he must know what he's doing. I mean, he's a director. He's got a specific vision. But there's all kind of people up in the chat thinking they're directors. It's kind of like when they were bitching about Army of the Dead and his shallow depth of field. Which I think, if you think about it, if you saw the movie, if you kind of take that dreamy aspect into context, and then the whole maybe time travel thing, or maybe they're in a time loop. Maybe this dreamy aspect, if he comes out with a sequel, maybe they're in this time loop, right? And it's kind of like a dreamlike state they're in. Could be something like that, you know. But I don't know. People are just like bitching. It's like, you don't like his aspect ratio. You don't like his choice of lenses. All these professional reviewers, commenters. But this is coming out September 7th. I liked it. The sound was definitely better than the HBO Max stream. Visuals, I wouldn't say it was a drastic difference between the stream. I mean, HBO's got some pretty good quality. The audio definitely was better. I will say that. And what is it? I think like disc 1 is like something like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and like disc 2 a little bit shorter than that. I think if you were to rip the movies off the disc, that you could fit both movies on one disc if you wanted to. I think each disc is something like 66 gigs or something like that. But I think I think one of the discs had I think there was like a featurette on one of them. And I believe the extra languages takes up a lot of space too. But if you were to like strip all that out, you could condense them onto one disc. I think even the Kaleidoscape version, like if you are not in the US, you can buy Justice League on Kaleidoscape, and it's 120 gigs on the Kaleidoscape. But I don't know if I'm pretty sure they must be counting the extra languages and all that too. I mean, Kind of curious to see what a 4-hour movie would look like on the Kaleidoscape compared to the disc version, because I did compare Avengers Endgame to the disc, and I think the Kaleidoscape version is something like 115 gigs, if I'm not mistaken, whereas the disc I think is a 66 gigger, and there's a very noticeable difference between the Kaleidoscape and the 4K Blu-ray. Like the extra, it's almost like double the size, an extra double the bit rate. So I mean, much less compressed stream, and it was just it's like way cleaner looking on the Kaleidoscape. Maybe hard to believe, like you wouldn't know people that think Kaleidoscape is a farce or whatever like that, but there's a nice difference between the Kaleidoscape version of Endgame and the 4K Blu-ray version of it. Also, the audio is also louder on the Kaleidoscape too. But tonight's stream, I don't know anybody who doesn't like Haribo gummy bears, but this is the German version. If any of you guys like gummy bears, the original German gold bears are the best tasting ones, because the American ones, they taste like they're just not good. Like they don't taste like fruit. Like, these legit taste like fruit. I think they use real fruit juice in these. The green ones, which I think is watermelon, it's like the best flavor. It's like such a big difference between the German ones and the American ones. What a big difference. What a big difference with the green too. Like the green on the American gummy bears, it's almost like a neon green. I ate all the green ones here, but the green on the German ones is almost like it's a very dull green. I don't know why that is, but maybe more artificial stuff going on in the American gummy bears. But the German ones, man, much better flavor. They cost more money. Like you can get this bag would be like $1 at Walmart, but this cost me $7. So my wife likes them too. So we bought a few bags to last us for a little bit. But that's just a little tip for gummy bear fans out there. Get the German ones. You can get them on Amazon. I have different sizes. German ones. Gold Baron, I guess. Best flavor. But yeah, check it out right there. Zack Snyder's Justice League on my top 6 for 2021. Great picture, great sound, all around. Coming September 7th of this year. Pick it up. Good stuff. And let's talk about this. I know there's some confusion about this here, which is the Rel 3D Theater. Let's get into the Rel 3D Theater, which is this guy here. Let's go to, here we go. So Rel 3D Theater, I guess you guys can't see my pointer, but there are 3 subs. I think this came out, I think John Hunter invented this like years ago. I don't know why they call it 3D Theater. Maybe they call it 3D because the intention was to have like a center channel sub, combined left and right sub, and then a surround channel sub. So maybe he meant 3D as in 3 subs, and you get 3 dimensions since it's 3 subs. I don't really know why it's called 3D Theater. A little, maybe they could have just called it like immersive theater sound or full range sound. But I do believe the concept was supposed to give the feeling that every one of the speakers is, full range. Like the center is full range, so that got a dedicated sub. The combined left and rights were going into a separate sub, so that gives it a full range feel. And then, of course, the surround speakers back then, which was 5.1. You combine the back left and rights into a single sub, kind of like what you were doing up front. So I guess the idea was like, both pairs of speakers, two backs, two fronts, share one sub, and then the center shares a sub, which would kind of make them all full range. Although if you wanted to go full range through the high level inputs with every speaker, that would have been the more ideal way, since you wanted to kind of like make everything full range. I mean, still the same concept with using crossovers and a dedicated LFE channel. But I mean, I don't know if you guys have tried running your speakers full range and then kind of maybe crossing your subs over a little bit lower to let your front speakers and surround speakers run like the full gamut. I mean, the chance of you blowing them maybe pretty slim. But I mean, the sound that you'll get if you actually run your speakers full range and cross over your subs a little bit lower, man, it's just a robust, much more robust sound. Like those gunshots and stuff like that. Like you'll definitely feel it. You'll feel that car, behind you. You'll hear that gunshot behind you. You'll hear that explosion behind you. Whereas if like you cross over your sub, like if you have one sub and you set everything to small and that car comes behind your head, like you won't really feel any bass coming from behind your head. All the bass is just gonna kind of like feed right into that subwoofer that you might have in the front corner. So I mean, there's that sense of, I guess, that three-dimensionality is what he wanted to kind of give you in this specific kind of subwoofer setup here in the 3D theater. That's why he wanted to. That's why they want you to connect everything through the high level, which again, I think the best way would have been to go high level with each speaker. So if you have 7 lower channels, each speaker would get maybe like a small sub, like a Rel T9 or a T7 or T5. Maybe like the T9 and T5 would have been the two best ones, because that would make your speakers play down to like 20 hertz, which full range is something like 20 to 20K. So that would have been like the ideal setup. Like if they would have sent me like 7 T9s, I think that would have been perfect. But that's the idea between the concept for the 3D theater, was to get that full range sound from all the speakers. Unfortunately, all the rail subs that I had didn't have high level inputs. The 1205s only had line level inputs, so you can't go high level into those guys. So we had to go from the subwoofer out, LFE out on the my processor into the line in on the back speakers. So I mean, it's still kind of like you're still using crossovers for that particular scenario. So it's like you really still didn't get that full range rear channel sound. And then I think there were some questions about why there was an LFE in with high level in at the same time. I guess that's because LFE channel does have like dedicated low frequency effects to that specific channel, which won't play in your front left and rights. So if you go high level, you'll still get the full range of your left and rights or left and right rear or what have you. But then you mix in the LFE at the same time, so you'll still get that LFE. You'll still get the low frequency effect channel still playing through that if it's needed, and then at the same time you still get your full range through the high level into the rail subs. So that's that was the idea with the high level and LFE at the same time. So I think there was some confusion for that as well. Also, when I did the setup, I did the red with red to the left positive, and then yellow to the right positive, and then black. You can ground that to any one of the negative terminals. That is for a Class AB setup. I do believe that if you're running like a Class D amps, that if you're going to do this thing, that you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to I think you're supposed to twist the red and the yellow together to either the left or the right. Like I know there's some weird way you're supposed to use high level, but if you're trying to do this and you have Class D amps, whatever I showed you in the video, like don't do it, because you could risk blowing your amplifier or risk blowing up the subwoofer. So they have a guide for that as well. But the video that I did was for a Class AB setup only, so there is a different setup for Class D. But my experience with this 3D setup is not too much different than what I have been running. Since I got the Trinnov, I've got a whole bunch of extra channels that I'm not using. So with my processor, I can have it dedicated lower 7 channels, and I can also have enough outputs to feed subwoofers to each channel as well. So I have had a center channel for quite some time, I have had a center channel sub for quite some time. I just went to one of the extra outputs on the Trinnov of the Altitude and specified that as a center channel sub, so I can cross over any kind of bass over to that sub, or like the left channel can have its own sub, the right channel can have its own sub. I can have a sub on the top left height channel if I wanted to, if I had a sub up there. So I've been doing that since I've had the Trinnov, because I think I've got like 13 subwoofers here right now. So I've had like 3 subs across the top front row for quite some time now. But it's kind of almost the same experience. There's going to be some stuff that you're just not going to hear if you're crossing over your speakers, like certain frequencies, you're just going to be missing it. Like I said, like you're not going to feel that car driving right across your face, or like gun shot right in front of your face, just pound you in the chest from the center channel, because you're probably going to feel that get spread out through the X amount of subs that you have in your space. So that gunshot's going to sound like it's coming from the left front, left, right subs, or if you have some subs in the back too, it's all going to like get the same signal into the subwoofers rather than being directed in that center channel speaker. So if that gun is shooting in that center channel, you're going to feel that thud from the center channel. Or if there's a bad guy shooting from the right channel, you'll feel it, that gunshot in the right channel, which you really don't feel if you have like one subwoofer or 2 subwoofers equidistantly placed from your listening area, because that thud's going to come out of all the subs. So you're kind of missing that extra dimension when you're either doing this, or if your processor can redirect bass to different specific subs for different channels. So I mean, that's one of the positive things about having high level inputs on your subwoofers, or if you got a rail subwoofer and you can accommodate something like that, then you will get that extra sense of space and extra directionality, extra sense of what's the word I'm looking for here? Extra sense of placement for your sound effects. They're going to sound like they really feel like they're coming from a specific area. If you got some big towers, this is one thing that always kind of strikes me weird too. Like I see like a lot of people with like large towers, but yet they'll still cross over their speakers over like 80 hertz. Like if you're running like towers for all your channels, you should probably run them full range. Let those things rip, and then let your subwoofers, blend in your subs as close as possible, because you want to feel that. You want to feel that ship flying over your head. You want to feel it rumble behind the back of your chair. If you're crossing them over and you got some little dinky bookshelf speakers, you're not going to feel that. So I think when I do some of my movie reviews and I say like, the audio is like fucking amazing or something like that, and I get another guy that's like, I didn't feel that. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I find out what kind of system they have. I'm like, oh, dude, because you're kind of missing out. You might have some small speakers or something like that. So, I mean, if you could do something like this with the Real 3D Theater with high level inputs, and let your speakers run full range, man. That's I mean, I've been doing full range speakers for quite some time, and it makes a difference, man. I would say try it. Even if you don't have a setup like that, like a REL 3D theater, I would say just try running your speakers full range. You might hear something you like. I mean, it doesn't hurt. You can always try it. That's what I always say. But that's the concept for the REL 3D theater. It's to give you the feeling that all your speakers are full range, essentially. And I don't know why they call it 3D theater. Like I said, I don't know why. They should have just called it full range theater. Maybe that would have been like the better name for it. REL full range theater. REL full range immersive theater. Plus, IMAX enhanced. IMAX doesn't even use subwoofers. IMAX actually uses all full range speakers all around. So this setup would be like a perfect candidate for an IMAX movie. For the whole 2 IMAX movies I think are out there. Like Charlie's Angels and Angry Birds, I think are IMAX enhanced. But anyways, yeah, that's REL 3D theater. I know some of you folks were confused about that, but that is the concept of REL 3D theater. Cool little thing, which I thought wasn't going to make much of a difference, but it was pretty good though. And lastly, last but not least, let's talk about this here, the Samsung soundbar. I know a lot of folks were really interested in knowing about this. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of the first guys like I was on the last version, but no, still got some pretty good views on this though. It's the what is it, the Q950? I think it's this one. Is it the T or the A? I forgot. Well, it's a Q950. I think it's this one. Could be wrong. That's not it. Oops. Share screen. This is the Q950T. Man, all these, I think wasn't the last model the same thing, the Q950? Q950A was the one I did. Oops. So this is the older one. Is there a new one here somewhere? Anyways, this is I can only think of like another. The only one that I thought was better than this one, the Samsung one, was I think the Ambio. I really like the Sennheiser Ambio. I still think that's like the best Atmos sound bar. I still feel like a soundbar system like the Q950A or the LG 11RG, I think it is. I mean, they come with like the subwoofers and they come with rear channel speakers, and then you get the bar. Technically, that's not really a sound bar. Technically, that's still a home theater in a box. I think I've said this multiple times before. Like, we went from home theater in a box with the obviously like the main head unit, the main brain, AVR, all-in-one disc player, AVR, and then subwoofer, and then 5 speakers. But technically, you kind of have the same thing nowadays. I mean, you still have the AVR is kind of built into the soundbar, and then you still have your surround speakers, and then you still have your subwoofer. So that is essentially still a home theater in a box. Technically, it's not a soundbar. So I don't even know why people call it a soundbar. The only soundbar that's a legit soundbar is the Sennheiser Ambio soundbar, because that is just a single soundbar. It's got some side firing speakers, it's got some front firing speakers, and it's got up firing speakers. That's it. That's all you get in the box. It's $2,500. Best sounding soundbar I've heard. The Samsung Q950A may be the best sounding home theater in a box that I've heard. There were some pretty good moments with the up firing speakers. Although, I think I neglected to mention this. If you want to get a really good rear surround, you do kind of need some space between you and the back speakers. Because if you're sitting like in line with the rear speakers, you're not really going to hear the up firing rear speakers go over your head. So you kind of have to move your seat forward or move the speakers backwards to give some distance between you and the rear speakers so that it can fire up and you can hear it come back down at you. And of course, the same applies for the soundbar as well. Like you gotta have some space between, some good distance between you and the actual soundbar for it to reflect sound off your ceiling. And then you do have to have a flat ceiling. If you have like vaulted ceilings or high cathedral ceilings, then the sound's just going to go up and not come back down. I think the recommended distance is something like 10 to like 14 feet max. I think it is for Atmos height speakers to work proper. But yeah, man, that soundbar, it sounded good. It did sound good. There was some good stuff in there. There were a couple demos that I watched, a few movies that I watched that were convincing. I did miss some of the rear channel effects, like some flyovers on certain movies, like Midway. I didn't always get that feeling like that airplane was flying above me. Well, I got it. It would sound like it would fly above me and like in front of me, but it didn't convincingly sound like it flew behind me. Not all the time. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. Kind of hit and miss thing. It's kind of like those things like, it really depends on placement and like I said, the distance and everything like that. Or if you're not sitting in the money seat, like if you're sitting off to the side, if you're sitting off to a wing seat, then the imaging collapses as well. Dialogue can get a little hard to hear because that little, center channel there in that soundbar is really tiny. So if you're not really sitting in the center of your listening space, then the whole illusion collapses as well. I don't think people talk about that much either, but you do kind of have to be in the money seat. You got to be in the center for these Atmos bouncy house speakers to work proper. I probably should have mentioned that in the video too. I kind of missed that one. Maybe I'll bring it up the next time I do a soundbar video. But the bass also I felt was not quite as thick as the older bar. I mean, it was a bit tighter sounding, a little bit more refined sounding, as refined as you can get for a soundbar. But the older one was definitely more boomier sounding. I do think that the new version for this year, a little bit more cleaner sounding, less boomy, maybe not as much output either, but still good. I mean, the older one was definitely more muddier sounding. This one, I seem to integrate better with the soundbar and the rest of the speakers. So I mean, that's a plus. And I think the biggest plus with this year's soundbar, between every other soundbar with rear speakers that I've ever reviewed, was that this soundbar, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but this one didn't, the back speakers didn't cut out because of my internet. Because I got a mesh networking node, one of those Linksys nodes, right next to the subwoofer, and right next to the soundbar. It's like right underneath the soundbar actually. And with the last year's version and the two previous versions of the LG that I had, and the Sony ones as well, the Sony soundbar did, the back speakers always cut out if I had my router turned on. This year's version of the Samsung, I didn't have that issue. And I watched a bunch of stuff on it, and I didn't have one dropout. So, I mean, kudos to Samsung for fixing that. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the same for everybody or not, but I mean, if you got one of those, then definitely, leave a comment. But for this particular review, I didn't have any dropouts this time around. So, good job, Samsung, on fixing that thing. And maybe the worst thing about the soundbar is that stupid display. They put the display on the top of the soundbar. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to switch between like between ARC, between the TV input and like the Apple TV, and like you got to get up. You have to actually get up and look on top of the soundbar to switch your inputs. Like, you can't just like switch to it down on your seat. I mean, you can. I guess you can keep scrolling through it, but if you want to do that, if you want to change levels or something like that, you want to change audio mode, you have to get up and you have to stand over the soundbar. You have to look at your input or your sound mode. That's like a fucking horrible. That was a horrible design decision. I don't know why they did that. Like, they should have just kept it on the front and had the display dim out if you wanted to, or if you want to keep it on, keep it on. But that was a bad choice. The only thing they put on the front of the soundbar was that little volume indicator, those little LED dots. And the whole bar is also covered in fabric. The entire bar is covered in fabric. Like, you touch it, if you got some dry hands, like, you're gonna leave some dead skin on there. If you're eating chocolate or something like that, you're gonna leave some residue on that cloth right there. Like, so you got some cats, you're gonna get cat hair all over that thing. That was a bad choice too. Like, the whole soundbar kind of felt a little cheapy. Not gonna lie, it's like a $1,700 soundbar too, I think. Or I think it's $1,800. I think it was on sale when I did their video. It might still be on sale, but I think it's an $1,800 soundbar, like full retail. But man, it's definitely a smaller svelte soundbar, I think, from last year's version. But they just I don't know. It just felt like they were trying to cut some corners. They didn't put a grill on it, like an official grill on it. The whole thing was just wrapped in cloth. Very, very different from the LG soundbars. The LGs are just like proper grill on the front, no cloth, high quality sound. That's not, all plastic soundbar. Definitely a higher quality than the Samsung. So I mean, those were the two kind of disappointing things. Was just like the fit and finish of the soundbar, just all cloth, very cheap feeling, and the design, kind of cheap feeling as well. But that's a soundbar. If you guys got the soundbar, definitely leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about the build quality and that LED display. Horrible. But I think that's it. That's all I got. We did Justice League Rail, Dino Audio. Oh, one more thing, Dino Audio. Yeah. The Dino Audio Heritage. Dino Audio. The Heritage Special. These are $7,000 speakers. I think somebody left in the comment section that they're at $3,500 a pair. They're $3,500 each. So, which would mean that they are $7,000 for the pair. And I don't even like I hate wooden speakers, man. Like, they just, to me, I hate wooden speakers, but there's no denying the finish on these are super nice. Like, this is like for real legit wood finish. It's like an actual wood. It's not like faux wood veneer. Like those Dolly speakers that I got, that wood veneer, that walnut finish on the Dolly speakers, that's like a printed, that's like a wood laminate. That's like a printed wood laminate on there. Like, if you look at those Dolly speakers I got, the Rubicons, they're expensive too. They're like $1,800 a pop. It's like a wood sticker they put on that thing. Very disappointed when I opened up the box and I saw that. Whereas these guys, this is actual walnut veneer. That's a very nice quality veneer there. You can feel the grooves and everything in that. It's got that old school vintage look about it. Like somebody might have made this in their garage, I guess. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but that's certainly what it looks like. Like, I dig it that it's definitely high quality. And all their stuff is like handmade too. Like, it's handmade in Denmark. It's hand sanded, hand buffed, hand lacquered, hand polished. It doesn't exactly have like a glossy polish finish, but it's a nice smooth finish all the way through. The Confidence tweeters. It's got the Confidence tweeters in there. It's got the Evidence woofer in there. There's supposed to be some upgrades on that one. I was listening to this for the past 2 days, and I don't want to say they're better than the Focals that I had. Hard to really say just yet because I had the AC going. But there was some pretty good dynamics from this tweeter. Very good detail. Not as soft. I mean, this is a soft dome tweeter. It's not as soft as like the Q Acoustics that I reviewed. But there's some really good high end high-end detail, some nice air with these speakers, which I wasn't expecting. Not I would say not too far off from the Focals. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to be that good, but they're pretty damn good. I mean, the Focal's got the beryllium tweeter, so that's like super good dynamics up top there. A little good micro dynamics. I mean, don't want to say that these tweeters don't have really good micro dynamics, but from what I've heard so far, it's pretty darn good. I'm still kind of burning them in. I know some people don't believe in that, but I believe in it though. I'm still kind of working these in for the next few days. I think we're going to shoot the review possibly on Thursday. I got the special 40s in, like as comparison. I think those are $3,000. These are $7,000. So curious to see how the extra $4,000 compares. But so far, man, these things rock. I really like them. I do really like them. I wish they were black, but the wood is still kind of cool looking, though. Not gonna lie, it is kind of cool looking. Like I could probably see myself owning these speakers. But that's it for the Heritage Special Dynaudio. I feel like not a lot of people talk about Dynaudio. I mean, they talk about I think Focal's coming around lately. You've seen a lot of people more talking about Focal speakers. Everybody talks about Klipsch and SVS. I think Rendel's getting around a little bit more. I think Gene did a review. I don't think, well, not Gene, but James did a review for the Rendel speakers on Audioholics. So Rendel's getting around a little bit more. But I feel like nobody really talks about Dynaudio. I mean, this is a knockout speaker. I mean, they make all these parts in house. Like, this isn't Chinese outsourced. Well, not for this speaker at least. I know they got some other stuff that is, but this is a legit speaker. Handmade, man, handmade. I mean, even the tweeters and the woofers are handmade. Good shit. But that's Dynaudio. Look at that. That's like perfect timing. That's 1 hour. Let's I don't know, see if you guys got a couple questions here before we log off. Will I review Space Jam on 4K? I'm not going to review Space Jam on 4K because I was never a fan of Space Jam. Even as a kid when it first came out. Or as a teenager when it first came out. I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan. Like, I'm like the biggest Michael Jordan fan. Watched all his games growing up. Love that guy. Best player in the world, man. But I'm not gonna review it. I didn't really like the movie, so I'm not gonna waste my time doing that. I don't even know what Space Jam 2 is about. I haven't even seen one trailer. I think that's coming out this month too. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch that. The fact that they even put LeBron James as if he's as good as Michael Jordan. No, man. That's just a bad move. Bad move. Rob Holloway. OMG, Tomorrow War was awful. I thought it was a fun movie. I did think it was a fun movie. Hi Shane, when is your review for the acoustic transparent screen dropping? Man, like I said earlier, it's been so hot in there, I just can't. I haven't been able to take the time to do that. It's just uncomfortably hot in there. Just uncomfortably hot. I mean, I could do the movie reviews because I can watch them on the TV and then listen to little snippets in the theater, but to spend a couple hours in there, it's just not happening yet. Maybe end of the week it's supposed to start cooling down, but not right now though. What are your thoughts on Apocalypse Now in 4K? I do believe I did a video on that a while back. I don't think I reviewed it, but there's a video on the channel about that. Amazon equals lackluster. Yeah, I would have to say yes, it was. Godzilla vs. Kong? I did review that, yeah. Oh, Godzilla vs. Kong. I gave away Godzilla vs. Kong because I know I did a giveaway for that. I don't know I think I might do a giveaway for Mortal Kombat. I think that's coming in the mail. this week. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Usually I do the giveaways on my Patreon, but I don't know if they're gonna send me an extra one or not. Like I had an extra Godzilla vs Kong, so I gave that away. I did announce it on the community tab as well. So if you didn't think I gave it away, like it was some kind of a scam or something like that, I did give it away. I announced the winner on the community tab, so you can always find that out there. Do you expect release the Dynaudia Heritage special review soon? I'm shooting for it. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, it's already 12 o'clock. I think we're shooting that review Thursday, and then maybe Friday or Saturday. I'm hoping to have it up on the channel. After we give it a little bit more time, I gotta break it in. I gotta burn it in a little bit more tomorrow. So got some music listening for tomorrow. Halloween 1 through 5 arriving September 4th. What was the bad one? Halloween 3, right? Wasn't that Halloween 3 Season of the Witch? Which had nothing to do with Michael Myers. "2001 on 4K looks better than the 70mm, but the experience of watching it on 70mm is amazing. I've never seen that movie on 70mm at the theater before my time." What are your thoughts on audio control amps? Must go. I had the Savoy and the Pantages in here. And honestly, I had a problem with their processor, so I didn't do the review. I don't know if it was it was definitely the processor. And then since the processor didn't function properly after 2 of them, I just decided not to do the review altogether. So I skipped the amp as well. So I can't really say I didn't spend too much time with their amps. But I didn't have a good experience this year with their stuff, so that's why I never followed up on that review. I sent everything back. Although I am using their little guy. I'm using the Rialto. This guy. I gotta do a review on this. Like I've had this for like far too long. But this is the Rialto. I've been using this as my desktop amplifier to power my desktop speakers. This guy is I'm not sure how much this costs, but I'm sure it's not cheap. This is the Rialto 600. It's 100 watts per channel to 8 ohms, 200 watts into 4 ohms, or you can bridge it into mono. 400 watts mono into 8 ohms. It's got a DAC built into it. It's got Acubase restoration. It's got auto sensing, turn on and off, so sensing signal. It's got 2 coax, 2 optical inputs. It's got RCA inputs. You can control it with the remote control. Here's a remote control. It's a little plastic jobby. Does the trick. It's got Bluetooth. And it's got RS-232. So I've been rocking with that for like the past 3 months now. Ever since I got all the other stuff in here. And it's I would say don't use it as a desktop amplifier for your speakers because there's a fan in it and it's super loud. But it drives my M&Ks with no problem. So I've got some M&K 750s here as my monitors. And they drive those perfectly fine. I haven't plugged them into any bigger speakers yet. I probably should. Maybe I'll do that in the review. I'll plug them up to the Dynaudios, the Heritage Specials, just to see what that's like. But I mean, as a desktop amp, it definitely sounds good. There's no doubt about it. Nice features on this little thing too. It's just the bigger amps I didn't have a good experience with. What else we got? Morning, Shane from the UK. 5 a.m. here. Are you watching England play football tonight? I am not a soccer guy, unfortunately. No, I will not be watching that. I think my wife likes soccer. I think Peru lost, right? I think Brazil beat Peru today, as far as I know. And I think UK won, right? Other than that, I don't know what's going on in the world of soccer or football. I paid $40,000 for my first Sony projector setup. Strange how things have changed. Well, listen, they still got $40,000 projectors out there. Sony still makes them. So they haven't changed that much. What's up, Vicious Funds? 3D was amazing when it first came out, and now it just gives me a headache. Oh, what did I watch recently in 3D? Oh, Godzilla vs. Kong. That was the last thing I watched in 3D, and it was alright. It was just an okay thing. I still paid the 4K for Godzilla vs. Kong. Ultra short throws are just fine. Oh, look at this. Hold on. On these videos, does Shane ever interact? Yawn. Goodbye. Listen. Didn't I answer all this fucking guy's questions? I answered all your questions. Everything you fucking said. I answered them. And you gotta say some shit like that. Listen, if you're still in the chat, I should just block your ass for being fucking dumb. I'm not even drinking anything tonight. I'm drinking some Schweppes. Some stupid ass comments like that. Come on. Fuck out of here. What else we got? Oh yeah, this was the Haribo comment. Yes. So, oh no, I got one more left. One more gummy bear left. Fred, what's up, Fred? I don't know if you're still here or not, but that was an hour ago. Nino Marochi, what's up? Thank you for the 99-cent super chat, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Shane, out of all the subs you tested so far, what would replace your PB16s? I've sold those PB16s quite some time ago. I've got the Rhythmics right now. The Rhythmic F18s in there right now, and definitely a different experience from the PB16s. Not that the PB16s are no good; they're still awesome subwoofers, no doubt about it. Just that the F18 Rhythmics gives me a bit more low-end thunder down low. So I ended up selling the PB16s, and I bought a pair of the Rhythmic F18s. Plus they're cheaper too. They don't have the cool stuff like the app and all that, but I do think they sound a little bit. I do think they sound a little bit different. So if that answers your question. And thank you for the compliment, Nino. Oh, what's up? Keeping up with the Joneses. This man don't sleep either. What's up, man? What else we got here? 3D seems to be a hot ticket for 3D fans for Godzilla vs. Kong. Yeah, man. I was a bigger fan of the 4K than the 3D. Like I think the movie was too dark for 3D to be really effective. Like I thought the 3D was much better for Skull Island, like way better. Like that's one of my favorite 3D movies, is Skull Island. Maybe because it was a brighter movie, but it just definitely seemed like it was a much better experience in 3D. Now here's a question. I know I got a few of you guys here. I got like 60 of you guys here. I know it's late, but is anybody in the chat? Is anybody in the chat a watch dealer? Because I'm looking to purchase a watch. Only if you're an authorized dealer. If you're an authorized dealer, then leave a comment down below that if you are an authorized watch dealer, because I need a watch. I've always wanted to start a watch channel, but there's like so many of them out there. But I am a watch fanatic. And there is a watch that I'm looking for, and if you are an authorized guy, then you leave a comment down below. Any chance you might be getting some Anthem products in? Man, that's a question all us guys are looking for, man. All us reviewers. You know, I don't think most of us guys are going to be paying for any Anthem products, because even if we were, it's like we can't even get them, right? I think they're still having some chip shortages. So that's why I guess none of us reviewers have been getting any of them, because they're taking care of all the orders first. I think the only other reviewers out there that have gotten them, they've either paid for them or they paid for them, or maybe they borrowed them from somebody. But they're not giving away. They're not loaning out any samples anytime soon that I'm aware of. I've been waiting to get that. I've been waiting to get one of their processors in for like forever. Just they haven't had any in stock. Plus, I think they're still kind of plagued with bugs, right? They're plagued with bugs. I was going to get the Monoprice because my buddy, a friend of mine, got the Monoprice the Monolith one or something like that? Whatever it's called. Whatever that Monoprice processor is. So my friend ended up buying it, and he went through 2 different Monoprice processors. And each one of them, I guess there were times where he would like go to sleep and go to turn it on the next day, and like it wouldn't turn on, and he always had to resort back to reinstalling the operating system on it with the USB. I think that was the story he told me that happened on both of them. So he had to give the whole thing a refresh every time, and he was getting some, I guess, like some pops and clicks and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still get some pops and clicks on the Emotiva, but it's kind of like a rare thing. But he was having issues with both of his Monoprice. Man, I forgot. It's whatever the name is. I'm drawing a blank here. But the Monoprice processor. So he had issues with both of them. So he sent them back, and I was gonna borrow it, but I guess he just said it was like so bad that they just issued him a refund for both of them. So that wasn't gonna happen. Plus, I didn't wanna like give it a bad review. Let's see. Yes, indeed. Watch out who I contact. Yeah, now some guys be trying to steal my 10 grand here. I don't think we have any. Doesn't look like we have any watch dealers here. No. I don't want that. I don't want that. Yeah. That's it. The HTP one. Yes. That's what it was. Drawing a blank. Man, we ain't got no fucking watch dealers up in here. I asked prior, but KLH seems to have revived energy design speakers. Would be cool to see your take on the current line from KLH. Maybe I have seen them getting doing the rounds with some of the other guys. I haven't watched any of those reviews, but I'm assuming they must be pretty good if they're coming around again. I think when I was growing up, KLH was kind of a I don't want to be like a low end brand. Kind of maybe like an entry level brand. Actually, did I have? I want to say I had a pair of KLH subwoofers back in the day. They weren't very. I don't want to be like they weren't good, but I think they were good at the time for what I could afford. But I don't know if this current line that they're promoting is. I don't know if it's like high end or what, or if it's like an audiophile-esque type of thing they're going for. I haven't really dug into it too much, but I did see a bunch of them things making their rounds lately. We'll see. Maybe I'll look into it. I don't think it really stuck in my head because I don't even remember what they look like. So I don't know. Listen, I like some pretty looking speakers. If they're ugly, they probably didn't make an impression on me. Hey Shane, have you seen that new Velodyne? You know, I've seen the Velodynes. They've been rocking the. I think they got sold to some German company a while back, and I think their design has been the same for like ever, right? I mean, I did reach out to them, and I don't think they were interested in sending me any subwoofers. They gave me some kind of excuse. But I've seen them pop up on some other. Actually, I think I've only seen them pop up on like one other channel, but I haven't really seen any like official reviews. Maybe that's why they didn't want to send it to me. I don't know. Like they gave me the email to their person, but I never got. I mean, they emailed me back, but then I gave them my request. I think I wanted their 18-incher. And then I didn't get an email back, so maybe they just weren't interested. KLH has always been a value line, in my opinion. Well, there you go. There's a nice way to put it. Value line. What I say? Entry level, affordable line. 100% agree. Yes, indeed. Who knows? Maybe, like I said, maybe the new stuff is nice. I don't know. I'd have to look at them. The Kendall Towers from KLH are not pretty enough. God damn it. Let me look at them now. Kendall KLH. Here we go. Adorama's got them. Let's see what these boys look like. I mean, they don't look that different than the Dynaudios, actually. Is that real wood, though? Yeah, man, there's I mean, aside from the wood veneer. I mean, they're bi-wireable. Oh, they got black ones. There you go. I got some black ones. You know, they kind of remind me of some old JBLs. With 10-year industry-leading warranty. I think a Reynolds got a 10-year warranty, too, right? Yo, that look about right. That looks about right. It's right next to this old ass radiator. Why does this look like they're in some I used to have a friend that lived in a house. Fuck, what am I talking about? I used to live in a house that had this old radiator in it, like growing up. And it was like listen, I'm not trying to say it was. Yeah, I'm not gonna say none. I don't want to offend anybody, but that doesn't look luxurious. Like that picture didn't look luxurious to me. This does. That looks luxurious to me. That one with the radiator. I guess they're trying to go for a different income bracket. They're like, let me just put our speaker next to this house with a radiator in it. Fuck, come on. And they're just like, let me just put this next to this radiator. That's a nice looking tweet. That looks like a Dynaudio tweeter too. What's going on here? I was like, yo, this doesn't look that different than Dynaudio. It was some nice feet. It's like the worst. It was like the worst navigation. All right, forget it. $650 each. American walnut or black oak. Let's see what kind of specs they got. Oh, right, there we go. Real wood veneers. Impressive. Real wood veneers. American walnut seems to be the thing. 3/4 inch MDF. Brushed aluminum tweeter faceplate and driver fascia. 5-way binding post. Black satin MDF base for stability. You know who has these MDF bases is what you call it? Bowers and Wilkins. I think the 6 series, right? The 6 series towers. The plinth. I think they call them the plinth. They're plinths. They're plinths. Oh wow! Look at that. Damn, they played on 25 hertz. Look at that. Speaking of full range response for your home theater speakers, yo, these bad boys go down 25 hertz. 50 pounds each. Yo, not bad. I mean, those specs look impressive. Not gonna lie, those look impressive. Wouldn't mind checking out those towers. If they send me a pair, I'll review them. Kind of bothered by that tweeter. Kind of bothered by that logo, like that KLH logo on that tweeter. Kind of bothers me. Like, maybe put it down here, or just not put it on the front of the speaker at all. I don't know. Maybe I'll email them. We'll see what's up. Energy RC70 looks identical. I'm surprised Shane hasn't had the Paradigm Founders in yet. You know what happened? You know what happened with those guys? I think I had emailed. I think I was around 30,000 subscribers at the time, and I think I emailed Paradigm. And I think I was in talks to review one of their amplifiers, but then I was like, I think I think I saw like a bunch of other guys were reviewing Paradigm amps, and I was just like, I didn't email the guy back, so I just kind of left him hanging. And then I want to say, like a year later, I emailed him back again, and then he never got back to me. So I don't know if he remembered me and was just like, oh, this guy left me hanging. We're not going to send him anything anymore. So I don't know. Maybe that's what happened, but I was supposed to review some Paradigm stuff back in the day, but I just felt like everybody was doing it, and I was just like, I think I decided to go review Rotel or something like that. I still think I'm like the only guy that's reviewed Rotel, right? I don't think anybody talks about Rotel. So I did the Rotel, and then I got the Macintosh. I think that's it, man. One more. Let's take one more here. Shane, do you have any update on Aura 3D? Any more Blu-rays getting added? I don't have any updates on Aura 3D. Well, wasn't Jumanji? What's that last Jumanji? I think that last Jumanji was supposed to come on Aura 3D. But listen, if you can watch Jumanji on Aura 3D or 4K with Atmos over a regular Blu-ray Aura 3D, I'm gonna have to go with the 4K and Atmos over Aura 3D. Just my take. I haven't really watched the regular Blu-ray in forever. But, well, that's it, man. I'm going to call this tonight. Hour, 24 minutes in. Anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys again in the next live chat. Thank you.